start writing novels one day, and now there's 5 of them, and I'm kind of not writing poetry quite as much because it just really overtook. But so this is just a small segment of one of them. And you guys get perfect honesty because I'm going to change the name. Like, it's Little Jenny Sue, and it's very loosely based on my own life. But the name needs to be changed because it's not fair. It's not exactly what happened. It's not fair. But it's not changed right now. So I'm going to read a small section of this. It's a sad story in some ways. Good story in others. It's kind of cool being a latchkey kid because no one pays attention to where I go or when. I go way further than the rest of the kids. I've gone all the way across the big park and past where it turns into a forest. Oh, I forgot to say, this is written from the voice of a 9-year-old child. I've gone all the way across the big park and past where it turns into a forest. I found the big hole in the middle of it and thought about what could have made such a huge hole or why it's in the middle of the forest. I know all about stars and aliens, and this might just be where the orange glowing thing comes from. I went around it, but not before I looked to the bottom. Past the forest is a golf course with a tiny pool that looks miserable with a bunch of fat ladies and no kids. You can go down Taromie Street forever, and there's just more and more houses and some churches where Melanie took me to Bible camp last year. I like the teachers and the story about Jonah, and especially the singing and the clapping. Nobody had to wear dresses, so I fit in better. Jonah got swallowed up by a whale, and that seems like something I'd like to do, but especially just I'd like to see the ocean sometime. The ocean is so big, and I love things that no one can move. But if you go down the other direction on the street, it's only like a block before you hit the big fields with the horses. None of the other kids are allowed to touch the horses, which doesn't really matter because the horses won't come to them anyway. I just climb through the barbed wire and go to them because no one tells me what to do or really cares. My mom's always screaming when she comes home, but not always at me. Since we left Martin's, she's mostly screaming into the phone and then driving off in her white Ford Escort. Once Nicole got her finger slammed in the door because Mom was angry and so she didn't get the baby all the way out of the car first. She yelled at me then and told me I should have been paying better attention. I hate being yelled at for things that aren't my fault. Nicole is with her dad tonight, though, and I'm hungry, but I won't risk seeing what's in the fridge until Mom leaves. Tonight is going to be a good night because this rental house is right next door to some stables, and what's great about that is no one lives there, and so the horses are all alone every night. I can go hang out with them and smell their horse smell and the hay smell and the sound of their whinnies, which I can make really good back at them, and no one cares. Tonight is cool because tomorrow is my birthday, and there's a new horse. He's a black stallion. I read that book and saw that movie like 1,000 times already, and now here's a black stallion, all for me, on my birthday. He's my Bucephalus.